born 1 month before the Bell X-1 broke the sound barrier, and it was only a matter of time before I came to know Edwards Air Force Base and NASA's Dryden Flight Research Center. As the nephew of an aeronautical engineer for Republic Aviation Corporation, the first thing I ever read in my life was Aviation Week magazine. Mesmerized by all the photos of so many new and exciting aircraft, I was inspired at an early age to join America's aerospace industry, and I expressed my passion for aviation by drawing all the new aircraft of that era, like this Convair F-102 making a max performance takeoff. By 1959, the exotic X-15 research craft was making its first pioneering flights, and my drawings now reflected the chase plane point of view of the event. Years later, it was a thrill to revisit these early ideas as a professional artist. As the X-15 was making history, I became fascinated with the people involved in test flying. NASA's Center Director Paul Bickle, wearing the business suit here, was an accomplished glider pilot who set a 46,000-foot world altitude record for sailplanes in 1961. The same year, Colonel Robert White flew the X-15 to Mach 6. As a sailplane pilot myself, I had the pleasure of meeting and working with Paul Bickle while painting his record flight for the Soaring Society of America in 1984. I enlisted in the Air Force in 1967, which was the launching pad for my communication and management skills, being assigned to the Security Service overseas and NSA headquarters in Washington, D.C. Relocating to Los Angeles in 1971 to finish my education opened the door to the Southern California aerospace industry and eventually all of my activities at Edwards. In 1977, I was hired as a technical illustrator by McDonnell Douglas in Long Beach. Rising through the ranks to become one of the company's 3 staff artists, I also worked in corporate relations, representing the company to government agencies, educational institutions, and the public. It was during this period that I was accepted into the Air Force Art Program, joining the exclusive ranks of those artists with full corporate support. I became responsible for concept design, production, and execution of corporate public relations activities associated with Douglas's advanced commercial programs. As these programs came to an end, I chose to move on from the corporate world and launch my own aviation art business, which led to my further involvement with the Air Force and NASA operations at Edwards and Dryden as an author and artist. In 1987, I was privileged to contribute several paintings to the NASA Documentary Art Collection. This one shows NASA test pilot Bill Dana flying the JF-100C during inertia coupling experiments and was displayed at the Kennedy Space Center. Hearing stories firsthand about the golden age of Muroc and Edwards from men like General Chuck Yeager and NACA Crew Chief Jack Russell gave me a great appreciation for the legacy of all the great test pilots who flew here. Participating in actual flight test missions at Edwards also heightened my appreciation for the industry, and it was only fitting that my final flight as an artist was a NASA 852 piloted by Dana Purifoy while on assignment covering the Boeing X-32 JSF demonstrator. I was honored to have served as an author, historian, and artist in support of flight test research at Edwards. From the birth of the supersonic era to the hypersonic flights of the X-15 and orbital flights of the shuttle, it is a story I love sharing with young and old alike. Culminating all of my artwork at Edwards was a mural entitled The Golden Age of Flight Test, produced for the new Flight Test Center Museum and summarizing in one glance the journey to Dryden.